Hello, guys, and welcome back to Trekyards. He is Commander Cocking.
He's out of Foley.
And today we have a particularly Trekyards-like discussion topic. As you guys know, since the beginning of Discovery, there hasn't been a lot of really beautiful beauty shots of ships. The ships haven't been treated like characters. I mean, they've got better over the years, but Discovery Season 1 and 2, I remember us talking quite a bit that we just want one flyby, But we're getting that now, so that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, Season 3, Episode 1 of Picard in general feels like they've lifted the standard of recent years. While Strange New World is a great show, it's still, missing in a few elements. This one seems to have kind of grabbed those reins of the Berman era Trek from, the 80s to the 2000s, and it all kind of comes together. And clearly, one of those things that the other shows are missing are Discovery Seasons 1, 2, 3 was better, 4 was okay, and then Picard Season 1 and 2 was, the bright, interesting-looking space shots that allowed you to both enjoy them. There weren't quick cuts that were dark and just sort of there for the sake of it, but also to give you a sense of the ships and who they are. When they made TOS, they were cutting edge with their making of space effect shots so that you could see the ship pretty constantly throughout the episode in graceful shots that you felt it. Enterprise D, same thing. They reused a lot of them, but they were flowing. They were graceful. Voyager, they had stock shots and new CG shots all the time. And yet, Discovery Season 1, it was awful amounts of contrast. I mean, clearly they were hiding the bad designs. You can kind of tell that just from the way they were framing it. They weren't confident in their own models and designs. So therefore, shadow and shaky cam. That's how you hide bad work. This, they linger. They float. They have long pans. I mean, they are proud. I think that's fair to say. What were you taking away from this? Obviously, I'm a CG artist. What do you take away from these sorts of longer, more shots?
As you said, being proud, but also the fact that the ship is a character, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as a lot of people are concerned. A lot of people like Star Trek for the ships, and yeah, we've kind of been lacking in that. So I think they were just, proud and showing this off and showing off this is a true return to form as far as what a Star Trek show could be and should be. I got to admit, a lot of the shots here seem more cinematic. They seem more like big screen movie type shots as opposed to just the standard old Trek TV shots. But I think that works beautifully because I love those, the motion picture and, all of the movies had such beautiful shots of the ships. Marriage of both, I think. The old school TNG, Voyager kind of DS9 vibe, as well as the movies. And I think they really wanted to show off how good these models are because they are pretty good. The designs are great. And, I can't get nitpicky because I'm not a CGI guy like you are. But they look really great to me, so...
And it's funny because you mentioned movie quality, movie feel. I was going to disagree until you mentioned the actual TOS movies, because those are obviously utilising what Gene wanted, but on a movie budget, where they are better lit. Or at least they're brightly lit with a distinct point of shadow, but that's lit by, own sources, so it feels bright in a certain way, it pops in a certain way. A lot of the previous Trek, and in fact even Picard Season 2, we talk about the lens flares, the overbloom, the overcontrast. This shot of the this shot of the Titan space dock, there is a deflector bloom to lens flare for the sake of it. It is very dark. It's in an enclosed space. It's always been dark. That makes sense. But as soon as it comes out of space dock and it's hit by light, the thing is incredibly bright, far more like a TV show. And in fact, some people might argue it's far more like TV show CG, easy, simpler, easier to look at. But that's what Trek was for decades. Part of the flair of the ships is to see them, to appreciate them. You don't want to have these crisp, tiny bits of light of the movies. Now, by movies, I mean generic, other movies in general. Like you say, the Trek movies were more like the shows, or the vice versa, whichever came first, etc. But yeah, I think I enjoy them better, and obviously it helps when they go to this nebulous expanse. The bright lights, yes, the ships are very dark still when they're dark, but the colors feel nice. They're still bright, but they need to be bright, and a lot of lighting is about knowing what to shadow to give depth. Because you could easily, so for example, the shot of the Helios where the shuttle's landed, and there's a very, very dark portion, right? That's black, pitch black. But if you pulled that light even a bit higher, the whole thing bathed in light, it would look weird. But they've done it. You can see the silhouette of the shuttle, of the ship, of the details. That's how you do that sort of lighting effectively, while still being dark. Whereas the one before that, that's gorgeous because it's mostly bright. It looks super nice. You can see the ship. I've seen many people say, "Oh, I like the texturing, I like the vibe." Yeah, that all comes together really well. They actually keep changing the vibes in different shots. I know different teams did them as well, but there's a unifiality despite it being quite different, and just all comes together as nicer, prettier, more Trek, more flowing. Yeah, just better.
Yeah, there's a particular shot that I really enjoyed was the Titan with the shuttle launching, shuttle coming towards camera, and you see the Titan there. Just it's bright. You see that the blinkies are all doing their thing. It just looks and feels so good. Like blinkies are important on these ships,
Yeah.
And that one has the perfect like timing. They just look great. So that was one of my favorite shots, actually. I don't know why Captain Shaw didn't decide to lock a tractor beam on the shuttle, but hey.
But that shot, I think you like it because it's incredibly straight out of the movies. That could be the Enterprise A. Done, right? And also, I appreciate the Shuttle Bay. That shuttle is damn big for the bay. That ship is not super giant, and the shuttle is actually quite big. Because the Type 11s are pretty big. I mean, the Type 9s from Voyager are compact. The Type 8, same thing. The 11s are significantly bigger. Because they're using the runabout cockpit from DS9, which itself is a much bigger craft. And so you can only get so much smaller when the cockpit has to be so big. That's one of the little conceits of filmmaking, that all the shuttles are out the same size because it's the same internal volume, give or take.
Well, there's a bit of a mistake there because it says on the bridge that they're launching from Shuttle Bay 3. There's only one Shuttle Bay. And when Bill Krause was on our live last night, we asked him about that. He goes, well, there could be like 3 launching bays within the one bay.
Yeah, that was my assumption,
Trying to come up with excuses for it, but yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, most ships that aren't TMP era have several bays. This is a TMP era ship with a modern skin. There's a big clamshell. That's it, guys. You got one bay. Yeah, I assume it's always been a waste to have such a big door anyway. Just there's a lot of wasted space. So I could see it being subdivided into 4 bays. Each one has work bees, one has tiny shells, one has one bigger shuttle, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Unnecessary, but also one ginormous bay doesn't really help either, in a sense.
Over the ship guys, and we're talking about ship shots, and we just devolve into shuttle bays and how that...
It was an important dialogue that they sort of got wrong, Stuart. It's important.
Yeah, I know. It's a separate video discussion.
It is. But like I say, in general, ship shots were really nice, and whereas most of these, especially Picard Season 2, where they didn't go to space, right? Like, basically. So there was few and far between. Obviously saved a lot of money, but fine. You could count the number of minutes of space CG in this episode. There was minutes worth, which is lovely, which encourages me there's going to be a good amount per episode. Certainly in my own fan films, I understand pacing-wise when you would need to see a cut to space. There's a something that you need to show, and it adds extra oomph to, one of the annoying things with, say, Generations is that you keep hearing that space battle, but you're looking at Worf and Riker. But obviously each exterior is very expensive, whereas really you'd want to do a more intercutty battle to kind of give more tension, etc. There's another thing in TNG where we did a review of it, and it's like a giant battle, and they show one shot, and it's like, well, it sounded like a great battle, and it hurt the episode, of course, but they couldn't do anything else. So this, I'm hoping we're going to see a lot of cool stuff, because they were throwing at us in this episode, and it was pretty much all great. And that's not something to be said for a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, one episode into the season, and I'm already excited for the ship and space stuff. So Keep it up, guys. Keep it up.
And the fact that most of these visuals we already saw in the trailer, in one way or another. Like I doubt they're going to spend 6 episodes in this Orange Nebula, right? So every time we see this Orange Nebula in the trailer, it's going to be this chunk of time. You know what I mean? Like, this is exciting that we're going to, who knows what, how many other ships might appear, the F, the E, or the Sovereign. I mean, like, yeah, I feel like the sky's the limit here. And this stuff I really like. So, yes. Good job, guys. Keep it up.
But guys, what do you guys think of the space shots so far? And are you looking forward to more? We want to hear all your thoughts down below. There's a comment section just for that specific thing, letting us know your thoughts. Or you can join us for lives, which we do quite often, where you can have more of a one-on-one interaction with us in real time. And yeah, so if you can join us for those, make sure you're subscribed and click the notification bell icon. What time are they, Samuel?
Well, they're the same time across the world, but because of time zones, they're several times. Oh, the world. They are 9 p.m., GMT, England time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern, and therefore minus the 2 hours or so for LA, 2 or 3. So, factor into that. But it's the same time. So if you want to check if we're live on any given day during the week, we probably could be. Just jump in that time and see and be part of the conversation. In which, of course, you can super chat. You amazing people can put your voice into the community. Have those, why I thought this about this, or I'm confused about this. Ask the questions, say the comments, be part of the conversation with us then and there. And Patreon monthly. Join the channel also monthly on YouTube or PayPal. Anytime. Every day, if you're so inclined to, at trekyards@hotmail.com or buy merch with the links down below, etc. Stuart, all amazing ways to help the Trekyards keep going and keep making more videos for all of you, because that's what we do and why we do it. It's for you guys all the time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So until next time, he's Commander Cockins.
He's got a Foley. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.